of the garden, recall for me the scent of long walks under trees.
Hi friend, I hope you're having a very joy-filled morning so far. My name is Sarah if you're new here, and my husband Charlie and I do all things tiny house, renovations, full-time RV life, tiny homestead, and today we are going to be using this Burpee Coconut Coir brick. And it looks like there's 2 bricks in here, and what you do is you add water to it, and then it like grows and expands into 16 quarts of seed starter. So usually we use like a seed starter mix, and those have fertilizer, and a lot of the times they have like peat moss is a very popular medium for seed starting, but peat moss is a little bit less sustainable because the sourcing and just the overuse of everything. So we're looking to start using this coconut coir, which comes from the husk of the coconut, and it's more sustainable. It doesn't have any fertilizer or anything in it, which is okay, because when you're starting seeds, everything that they need is actually within themselves until they develop their first set of true leaves, which at that point we will add some fertilizer and start transferring them into our garden beds. And if you hear chickens around, they're behind me right now, so you might see them in the shot. But I'm curious to use this. We haven't done it before, but it's a lot more cost effective because this whole thing was only $3, and we're gonna see how well it does, how much it fills up our seed starting trays, which I'll show you what we're using in a second behind me. But it says that you want to use 4 quarts of water, warm water, per brick, and it takes 2 minutes for it to start expanding. And it says to do it in like a little bucket, but I want to try it in this tray so that we can actually watch it expand and see kind of the process of that. So this is warm water that I've got in here, and 4 quarts is about 1 gallon. So let's get started expanding up these bricks and then starting our seeds for our spring garden. All right, so here we go. We're gonna slowly start pouring the water on. Another great thing about this brick is that it's sterile, has a great neutral pH.
Only in stillness, gently I am formed anew.
Okay, so here's the truth about gardening that I wish someone would have told me when I was just starting out, is that it's okay to experiment and I don't think you're ever gonna know everything that you wish you would about gardening. You just have to at some point just start. And when I started, I really wasn't into it when my husband had first gotten into it. I started wanting to do it a little bit different, to where like I would have flowers and like pretty things that would be on trellises, and have the garden be like this whimsical experience, like this retreat that I could go out to in the morning with my tea. And when I had started, there were so many, you know, opinions and people that were saying like, oh, you can't grow pumpkins in Florida, or you need this and that kind of seed, and you can get discouraged when you don't have like the pretty seeds or the right seeds that you wish you had. Maybe you can't invest in those right away, or like maybe the right tools or enough space or whatever it might be. But I ended up just getting started, and with my limited knowledge, trying for the pumpkins, and I ended up growing in Florida some Cinderella pumpkins, some porcelain doll pumpkins, some Casperita pumpkins, and Jack B. Little pumpkins, and some zinnias. I had never done flowers before, but I just got started with zinnias, and they were so beautiful. And that's kind of what started me, you know, on my garden journey. So I say all of that to say, like, you can do it in a cost-effective way. You don't have to have the best trays, the best seeds, any of that, or all of the knowledge. Just get started and grow food for your family, and do it as a way to help your soul come alive. So I've got this mixed up. It didn't work as well as I thought it would in the tray because some of the water like came out of the tray. So I've got a bucket for the next brick and we're gonna try it with the bucket and hopefully we can really see it grow using the bucket method, which is what they suggested actually. But this feels really good, really fluffy. You can tell it's got the moisture retention there. Okay, so the first one definitely grew, but now with our second block, let's give it a try in the bucket where it will retain more of that water and see if it does any different. I'll also kind of like pour a little bit and let it sit. Then try a little bit more. But that first block definitely did grow, I would say, in size. And the fact that it just grows in 2 minutes is pretty great.
Remind me of the garden, recall for me the scent of long walks under trees, feeling once again like myself.
So you can see we got an entire bucket from that little 2-brick kit that was $3 from Burpee. That's pretty amazing. And now I want to show you the trays that I got. You can hear noisy chickens and roosters in the background. But these are the trays that we got from Amazon. It was $15 for 10 trays with 12 cells in each tray. And so it comes with the liner, it comes with the underneath so that you can water them from underneath if you want. There are holes in the liner, and it also comes with some tools like a little seed dropping or puncturing the holes tool, then also some things to help you harvest out your sprouts when they're ready. It comes with some clips to secure the humidity dome on top. So this little piece goes on top, it just snaps in. Little labeling things. So I thought it was neat and handy that you could clip it on the top of the lid for while you're starting them, and then you can just poke them, you know, in the soil once you have it all started. And then these clips help keep the lid on. They actually stay on without the clips, but just for extra safeguard. All of our trays are filled up from those 2 bricks of coconut coir, and I had some extra that I went ahead and put into some of these cups that I had from seed starting last year. And these are just the plastic ones that you would normally buy like a transplant start in. So when you buy a transplant start, whether it's going to be a tomato or a pepper, you're usually going to spend anywhere from $4 to $7-ish, depending how established the plant is or if it's just a sprout. And so that's why seed starting can be beneficial, not only because it's cost effective because you can get a whole pack of seeds for like $2 or $3, but you can also extend the variety of things that you can grow. Hybrid varieties like purple tomatillos or zinnias that aren't just the typical colors. Of course, we want to grow things that are functional and our family is going to eat, but we can also grow things that are fun and whimsical. You can make it whatever you want it to be. So growing a different variety that you won't be able to find in the store. And then another reason would be to save the space. So in Florida, you can direct sow a lot of things, but we are right now working on getting a dump truck load of organic compost and soil to put in our raised beds. So in the meantime, we want to go ahead and start things because it is February 2nd and the last frost is over tomorrow. So we'll start them in these trays, and this really saves a lot of space. And then once those first set of true leaves come on, then we can transfer them into our beds. So saving space and really waiting on timing, especially if you're wanting to stagger sow some things so that you have them coming up throughout the year at different times if you have a long growing season like we do in Florida. Also, if you live in a very cold area and your last frost isn't until a couple months from now. You're gonna wanna get things started so that when that frost threat has passed, you are ready to go. You can bring things out, harden them off, and put them in the beds. And a lot of people are curious about why you would want to use humidity domes. So if you live in a cold environment, you're probably going to be using grow lights and heat baths to help your seeds germinate. And then when you live in a very hot or dry climate, you want to use the humidity dome. So that's what we are doing. And they do have, you know, the little turning window there where you can either give them some ventilation or keep them to where the humidity will really get in there, and that locks in the moisture. So you can see like these are already kind of like getting some condensation on the top. It's really helping to lock in that moisture to the soil, which is important. We don't want them to dry out. But as soon as you see them starting to sprout, we're going to want to take these humidity domes off, because then it can actually damage the plant if they are going to be getting too much water. It's just really for when they're first starting to germinate. So once we see the sprouts coming up, we won't need these anymore. So we just sowed some zinnias, and I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these and check back with you in a minute. As I was about to put these up, I thought of another reason why you would want to start your own seeds. It would be that you want to make sure that the seeds actually germinated if you're short on space. So like when we're direct sowing or we're putting things out into our bed, if I would sow all of this directly into the bed and then not all of them germinate, I've taken up more space than I have, if that makes sense. So now I can pick the best ones that look really healthy and transplant those and really know the quality of what's going on into the garden.
Stillness, gently I am formed anew.
All right, we have started all of our seeds, and I put them on a table where they're gonna get some good afternoon sun. It's not super heat of the day, which is not great in Florida. So we are ready to go. We're going to be following their journey and their growth, and then eventually transferring them out into our raised beds out here. And we're going to be doing some garden tours all season long. So consider subscribing if you haven't. And thank you so much for watching and starting seeds with me today. I hope that you feel inspired to plant something at your home, and knowing that you don't have to do it super fancy and there's ways to be cost effective about it is really encouraging for me. So we're on this journey together. I'm not an expert by any means, but it's fun to do things with other people and just cheer each other on. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.